Tonight on The Doctor.
Dr. Lewis asked her to report any rise in Larry's fever, so Larry's mother calls his office.
Weird that a little kid has an office, but okay. You're on mute.
Dr. Lewis has already left to spend the afternoon in a hospital clinic where he donates his services. But he'll call his office later that day to get his messages. In an emergency, his nurse would call him at the clinic.
An emergency is when someone with insurance gets a hangnail.
At the clinic, the children have many different problems. This child has broken his ankle.
He's returning the unused portion.
This girl has burned her hand.
To purify herself with pain.
This baby has a bad cough.
She's a pack-a-day baby.
And this boy has swollen tonsils. 2 afternoons each week, Dr. Lewis works at the hospital clinic.
I'm not sure, Carol. It may be broken. I'm going to send you to X-ray, and then I'd like you to take her to orthopedic clinic and have it examined there.
We drove all the way here, but okay.
Specializing bones there, Carol.
One doctor will often send patients to another doctor who specializes in a particular kind of illness.
Like an ass man or a nose guy.
An X-ray is a photograph of the inside of the body. Hard things like bones show up clearly. X-ray technicians are especially trained in this work to help the doctor in deciding what is wrong.
Radiation's free. Go ahead and roll around in it.
The field of medicine is so large that no one doctor can learn all there is to know. So doctors often concentrate on one particular kind of medicine. They become specialists, and it is sometimes said that they learn more and more about less and less.
Who said that?
This doctor specializes in bone problems. He is called an orthopedist.
Greg, orthopedist.
Many specialists in other fields work right here in the hospital clinic. For instance, a surgeon is a doctor who performs operations on patients who need them.
And some who don't.
A doctor who specializes in temporarily numbing a patient's nerves or putting him to sleep during an operation so he won't feel pain is called an anesthesiologist. Knowing as much as he can about this is his whole job.
And what do you do all day?
Another specialist is the obstetrician. He takes care of women who are going to have babies. He helps keep the mother healthy while the baby is growing inside her, and he helps when the baby is being born. A baby's heartbeat is so faint, he must listen very carefully with a special stethoscope.
That's cerebro.
There are many branches of medicine, and many doctors who specialize in them. Some doctors don't work with patients at all. They have specialized in finding ways to improve medicines and equipment and in trying to discover cures. We call them research doctors.
Your aunt lies about them on Facebook.
That afternoon, Dr. Lewis calls his office to check with his nurse and get any messages left for him. He learns that Larry's fever was slightly higher at noon. He calls Larry's mother to tell her not to worry and to find out how Larry is doing. Larry's mother has just been checking Larry's temperature.
Over and over again for 3 hours. How do you know Larry, and what is this regarding?
She is happily able to tell the doctor that Larry's fever has now dropped quite a bit. But Dr. Lewis reminds her that Larry should continue staying quiet and taking the medicine because they still have to wait for the results of the lab test to find out how serious the sore throat is.
She just hangs up.
Today, Dr. Lewis has worked in his office and worked in the clinic. But still, his work is not over.
There's also emotional labor.
Sometimes a child cannot be brought to his office, and it is necessary for the doctor to visit him at home. But most doctors prefer to see patients in their offices.
How do these little kids have
There
offices?
They have more equipment for finding out what's wrong and for treating the patient. And they don't have to waste useful time just getting to the patient's house.
Consider your doctor's gas mileage before getting sick.
Well, Susan, it looks like you'll be able to get out of bed in a few days. But you won't be able to go outside for a while yet.
Munchausen by proxy.
You know, it's fortunate that we now have a vaccine for measles, and everyone in your family who hasn't had the disease yet should be inoculated. Measles can be quite serious, but now no one needs to get them.
They'll be lucky. It takes so long to get well.
Hey, movie, stop getting so political.
That evening,
300?
Well, Larry, how does your throat feel now?
It feels fine. It hardly hurts at all. What's my temperature?
It's normal.
Oh, boy, call Dr. Lewis and see if I can have my party.
Call him
I'm
yourself.
sorry, honey, I can't. He won't know yet till he gets the results of those lab tests.
at the lab, all sorts of tests are made to help the doctor know how well or sick his patient may be.
Based on credit score.
Larry's throat swab was put into some special chemicals. After a time, the lab technician can tell by the color and the way it looks whether certain dangerous germs are causing Larry's sore throat. As soon as she can tell, she sends the information to the doctor.
How's Larry feeling today?
Grab your checkbook while you're answering that.
That's fine. I have the report from the lab on his throat culture here, and it's normal. So he didn't have a strep infection, which could have been serious.
He almost died.
Why don't you continue the present medication for another 48 hours? As for his party, he can go ahead with it. He's not infectious.
The nicest compliment Larry will ever receive.
Larry, Dr. Lewis says you can have your party.
Oh, boy! Yay!
Did I do it right? Are we done? Can I leave?
That night, Larry's dreams are wonderful.
Visions of malpractice suits and insurance fraud dance in his head. Guys, I had the doctor dream again. Haha, fun is fun. Typically, if a movie shows the dream, that means the reality will be profoundly different.
That night, as Larry dreams, Dr. Lewis, too, is fast asleep.
Damn it, stupid job.
Dr. Lewis speaking.
From my bed at 2 a.m.
Yes. How high?
Yes, I love that movie.
When did this begin?
How did you get this number?
I'd better have a look at him. I'll be right over.
See you in a minute, Mom.
A doctor often works round the clock. There are emergencies at night as well as during the day. A doctor has to be ready to sacrifice sleep, enjoyment, and time with his family.
Mostly that last
A
one.
doctor is someone with a great deal of schooling and experience, all aimed at curing the sick and keeping healthy people well.
And paying.
He has devoted himself to helping all the people who need him.
Like HMOs and special interest groups and the pharmaceutical companies and Wall Street, and the system's really messed up, okay, guys? Thank you so much for watching Fun with Shorts. This series is supported by Patreon and patrons like these wonderful people right here. They get early access to new episodes and exclusive episodes every month. Also, check out the updated funwithshorts.com for DVDs and merch and all the good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next time.